let's talk about Riptide. I believe that almost everyone who has played Dead Island 1 and then jumped to Riptide will clearly feel that Riptide is quite short. The brevity is not just in the hours spent on the main missions, but overall. From the scope to the gameplay, which should have shown more development. Instead, this development makes the combat pacing extremely fast, especially if you choose to play as John. This is in stark contrast to Dead Island 1, where the gameplay felt very slow and the extensive scope helped slow down the pacing, giving the game even far longer feel. Therefore, I will discuss the main idea that allows us to gain additional lore both in-game and outside of it, which hopefully can alleviate our sense of lack regarding the bland experience of Riptide, making it feel a bit more substantial and meaningful. I have carefully planned what topics we will cover. Interestingly, we will focus on the environment. So let's dive right in.
Whatever the fuck is going on, there's nothing to do with humanitarian efforts. That's pretty clear.
Christ, I'm still woozy from these bloody drugs.
Our opening topic is Hanging Joe. From this landmark, we can gather almost all the information about Riptide, even though this landmark itself remains a mystery, including how it got the name Hanging Joe and how the bridge could have collapsed. If we play Riptide, it would be wise to complete the mission to find the boat first, as in this initial map, we will heavily rely on water travel, especially to reach the Hanging Joe site. The flooded jungle in Dead Island Riptide presents an incredibly captivating and immersive environment that is not only visually stunning, but also cleverly designed for gameplay. This expansive map is filled with a vibrant combination of lush vegetation, towering trees, and murky waters, creating an atmosphere rich in both adventure and danger at every corner. We can traverse this dynamic landscape, which is not only aesthetically pleasing, but also functional, offering various routes that are ideal for vehicles and boats. One of the most remarkable features of the flooded jungle is its dual-purpose paths, which facilitate our movement while also serving as effective tools in the battle against the zombies. The winding trails and waterways allows us to navigate quickly, whether we chose to drive through the dense underbrush or glide across the water. This versatility enhances the gameplay experience, enabling us to formulate strategic plans for encounters, utilizing vehicles and boats to outmaneuver and eliminate zombies.
Fuck you, man!
The environment itself acts as a valuable ally, providing us the opportunity to use the terrain to our advantage. The combination of natural obstacles and zombie threats creates a vibrant atmosphere that demands quick thinking and adaptability. The flooded jungle plays a vital role in the gameplay, enriching the overall experience.
Hey, wake up. You all right?
What happened? The ship.
Get up. The ship's dead in the water. Can you walk?
I can try. Where am I?
Hal and I. But it's really not safe here on the beach. There's an infection. Some sort of plague.
Again? Fuck me, man!
The whole island's gone to hell.
Yeah, I've been there before.
We'll talk later. Right now you need to move. Head for the Paradise Survival Camp. Look for the big treehouse. You'll find other survivors there. Take this.
After Harlow gave me a knife, I opened the map and noticed a landmark icon there. And when I checked these points, there were some interesting names. Since I was still walking before heading to Hangzhou, I tried to walk to a point called Twin Sisters. Which turned out to be just a waterfall. Unique names like this made me think I would get more information than just knowing the name of a waterfall, like the story behind the naming, but it turned out not to be the case. I immediately thought, damn, maybe all the landmarks will end up the same. Unique in name, but nothing else. But when I looked at Hanging Joe, it seemed not that simple. Because if we look at the map, near this landmark, there are many points of interest. There's a house connected to the bridge. Next to it is another landmark called Brevity Outpost, and there's even a dead zone. It seems more interesting to visit this landmark. I wonder how many people share the same thoughts as me while playing this game. Thoughts like a tourist trying to explore the points of tourist destinations within the game. Upon arriving at Hanging Joy, I had a sense of deja vu.
There ain't no hanging bridge now. There's a floating one.
Because clearly this is the same giant bridge model from the previous game. They reused game assets. The difference is this one is broken and leads directly to shallow waters. But realistically, is there really a bridge this big? It's made of wood, so how did the native people build this without heavy machinery? Anyway, when I reached the end of the broken bridge, I noticed something unusual. Upon opening the map, near the end of the broken bridge, there was a box indicating the presence of a hut or house that might be at the end or even beneath the once intact part of the bridge. I rushed over. But it turned out there was nothing there. Not even a tree, just this cliff. Could it be that there was once a large tree that supported the end of this bridge, and when that tree fell, it caused the bridge to break? After half an hour of confusion, searching for this mysterious box, I decided to move on, and coincidentally headed to the landmark near Hanging Joe, which is the Brevity outpost.
Don't mess with this, motherfucker!
It consists of a collection of huts and other structures accessible through the flooded waterways of the jungle. It was either a small cluster of houses or, more likely, a resting area for travelers passing through the jungle. Thinking about it, this area is indeed suitable for tourists wanting to take a break before continuing their journey to other areas, as it is very strategic with a cool position and accompanied by the view of a waterfall nearby, named Yagari Waterfall. If this were a real place, it would surely be very comfortable for resting.
Looking at that, you could almost forget how fucked up everything is.
In this area, we can also find postcard number 4, which contains a note from a traveler describing how beautiful Henderson City was before he continued his journey to this area. Now that we are at Brevity Outpost, it makes sense to check out the nearby landmark that shouldn't be overlooked, which is Kingston's Shack. Here we need to help Tyler first.
Hey! Over here! I'm stuck here! I'm stuck here! Help me! Please help me! Is this the end of days? The final battle between heaven and hell? Here, take this. Go on. You can have it. I have to find my family now.
Interestingly, at this location, we can find one of Angela Guerra's recording.
I had just about lost all hope when I saw it. Some kind of research facility. John went running for it, and that was a mistake. Something came out of the woods and attacked him. It was huge and covered in these festering boils. I'd seen some terrible things, but nothing like this. We beat the poor creature down, and Zico split its skull. John was badly hurt, barely alive. He begged me to put a bullet in his head so he wouldn't resurrect. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. So I handed him the gun, and he... Oh, Jesus. After that, I just lost it. I screamed. I swore. I was so goddamn angry. And that's when a man came out of the facility. He heard me cursing, so he knew I wasn't sick. He was so surprised to see us. His name is Dr. Kessler, and I know I should be grateful that he took us in. But there's something off about him. He's involved in some sort of research project, but he seems very evasive. He says we can't stay long as he doesn't have enough food for all of us. Tom wants to force the issue, but I don't trust this Kessler.
Describing the event where she was rescued by a scientist named Kessler, who worked at a research facility near the area. Indeed, if we look at the map and shift it to the right, that's where the left side is located. However, in her recording, Angela Guerra had no choice but to accept Kessler's offer, although she felt skeptical about him. The recording is numbered 4, by the way. Returning to the landmark, there is actually a dead zone located right next to Brevity Outpost. So why are we passing it by and heading to Kingston Shack? Well, it's clear that if you play this game, you wouldn't want to enter a dead zone with a low level and minimal weapon supplies. Typically, dead zones features challenging boss fights. There are named zombies in these areas. It seems this zone serves as homestays provided by the local residents. Indicating that this place is a popular tourist destination frequented by many people from all over the world. We switch to another site near Hanging Joy. This time we will climb it again and head towards the hut that is directly connected to the bridge. Once again, the design is absurd. Why is such a large bridge connected to a single house? And why is it positioned in the middle? This hut has a workbench icon, so I assume we can enter. However, when trying to access this place, it turns out that the doors are not accessible. There is also a ladder that can be climbed, but it cannot be used to enter because there is no hole in the roof. Yet we can get free weapons from the metal chest there. Upon doing some googling, it turns out we need to take the side quest White Line from Bruce to access this place. Let's go find Bruce.
You know what I'm talking about. The white stuff. White powder. The kind you know, put up your nose. Bring me a few bags and I'll give you all the cash I have on me. Our dealer lived close to here. Should be easy getting over there. Go get his shit and bring it back to me. Don't worry, come on, the dealer's dead. Or deadish. Anyway, who the fuck knows? Will you help me out?
Let's do it.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna sell it. It's for me. All of it.
According to the information we got from Bruce, the place we are trying to visit is owned by a drug dealer. It's also quite tragic, as this location is adjacent to a Brevity outpost, which clearly indicates that there are some people who need more than just a beautiful view of the waterfall to feel quote-unquote calm. Damn, why do they prefer false tranquility over genuine peace? Don't do drug falls. Fortunately, our character also has sympathy for Bruce. So, instead of actually getting the forbidden white powder, our character replaces it with glucose. Good move.
Man, I can't let him kill himself. I give him that glucose instead.
Inside the drug dealer's shack, we can find an important document, Secret File 3, which contains very heavy spoilers. This file reveals that Serpo has received the immune individuals from Benoit and has even discovered the fifth immune named John, and they have all been studied on the HMAS Avenger. Meanwhile, Karen has been transferred to the consortium headquarters for the briefing. Serpo also informs that research in Palonai has shown significant results, leading him to report that the 5 immune individuals who have been studied will soon be taken away from the archipelago for further research. Isn't all of this lore that occurs before our ship sinks? This file even indicates that the research in Henderson, particularly in the area we used to fight Harlow, has been designed in such a way that the military is also involved in the research of this zombie virus. Truly a major spoiler in a single document. The flooded jungle is more than just a backdrop. It's a crucial part of the gameplay, which is why when we approach Henderson, we lost both of our means of transportation, the vehicle and the boat. This makes the rumored dynamic floating cut content make more sense. I think maybe Techland wants to keep the boat as the main transportation in the city by making it float over time. And when it's not floated, it becomes a challenge to go on foot. Isn't that a good idea? Speaking of cut content, I can't ignore the reality that the entire Riptide standalone edition was originally intended to be included in the base game. I'm unsure how many individuals are still unaware of this fact, but if you haven't come across it before, now you have. Based on early concept art for Dead Island, the maps for Riptide, particularly Henderson, were clearly intended to be part of the main game. The town of Henderson was designed to provide a contrasting atmosphere compared to Moresby, showcasing a completely different vibe and character. Moresby is dark, evil, and grim, while Henderson is bright, kind, and hopeful. It seems that many landmarks are intentionally designed with intriguing names to attract curious players to visit. Indeed, there are numerous clues from the story and gameplay that we can discover here, starting with the abundance of metal chests sufficient to fill your weapon wheel, along with various collectibles and even crucial secret files that are essential throughout the Riptide game, some of which provide more informative insights about the first game as well. For those who dislike spoilers, it can be disappointing to find everything located in this area. From the interest in the landmark Hanging Joe alone, we gather a wealth of information from the collectible postcard 4, which mentions the city of Henderson as the next map. We also learn about a science lab managed by Kessler from Angela Guerra's recording, part 4. Additionally, we come across Secret File 3, which narrates the core of the lore occurring in the timeline the player is navigating. This indicates that Hanging Joe is a significant landmark for quickly studying the game. The map in Dead Island Riptide indeed features many landmarks with unique names, especially when discussing waterfall names like Twin Sisters and Dark Waters. Unfortunately, there are no documents or interesting lore to explain these names. I hope such issues can be addressed in future games. Honestly, thank God, Dead Island 2 already takes its environment very seriously. You can clearly see why a place is designed in a certain way. Often the answers are visible to the naked eye while exploring the area. I even made videos of some of its places. Please do check them out. That concludes our journey through Riptide this time. Thank you for watching until the end, and I apologize for any mistakes in my words. I am Fury Russ. I'll see you down the line.